Hey guys, Matt. I'm just going to sit back in the chair for this one. I didn't finish the chapter that I was working on. I was working on that second to last chapter that I promised, where I give you my take on absolutely everything, and it's already massive, and I'm only halfway done. Like, exactly what I think happened on 9/11, for example, and everything else. So that'll probably be two parts. But then we have to backtrack in the book as well because there's still 15 more chapters of just delivering the endless fraud of this world. And people will still give me the same, snarky comments that I'm not progressing, I'm backtracking. Look, I can't really do much more than what I delivered in the last chapter. That was my best attempt at trying to put all the pieces together for my very best, to my very best understanding of what I've been looking at for almost 10 years. I don't have much else. So I'm going to deliver the book as I promised, and there's many, many more chapters, which is an endless, detailed presentation of the fraud. If that's not for you, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think I'm breaking my own rules. Or there's cold analysis, and then there's emotional attachment to it. There's getting angry at it. There's fighting it. That's what the system wants. But we can coldly analyze, for educational purposes, the fraud that the system presents. I think we'll all continue to do that for our entire lives. So if that's not for you, then I don't, I'm sorry, I don't have any, how many chapters can I produce with some sort of massive revelation? I don't have much more in me. So, let's just, maybe at some point I will come up with a few things. We're going to backtrack for a while in the book. I'm going to try to deliver that chapter tomorrow, at least the opening part of, where I said I'm going to deliver the reality junkies what they want, like everything regarding the fake events, everything I know about, or what I think happened on 9/11 and all the rest. I'll try to do that tomorrow because I promised that, and yeah, we should move past the reality junkie stage. We all should. For as long as this channel remains, I will cater the reality junkie because seeing the fraud, as I've said, seeing the fraud is part of the journey. You're not going to get to the 10th level Jedi if you don't see the fraud. So does the fraud have to be exposed in such a massive way, the way I'm doing it, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages? No. And if I didn't present, the end of the book stuff, you'd be right in being skeptical of me, saying he keeps talking about positive solutions, but he just keeps presenting more hell. So that's why I'm throwing end of the book chapters up front as much as I can. And for those that didn't understand elements that were in the last chapter, where I tried to break my understanding of what this reality is down in the best way or the simplest way possible, there is about 100 more pages that explains all of that stuff in detail. There's got to be 10 more chapters that gets into the detail on the screen and all of that stuff if you want to stick with me. But after the second to last chapter, I'm going to return to, I'm not done presenting the fraud of this reality. That takes a long time. There's a lot of fraud in this reality. Endless. So I'm going to have to backtrack to that. We'll break down in detail, what Obamacare was all about, why they're making Star Wars bad on purpose. I mean, what was it? The Princess Diana research I've done. Just incredible stuff, how it relates to the ancient Merovingian sacrificial grounds in Paris, and all of that will be presented. But I will try to balance that with the positives as much as I can. And regarding the positives, we'll talk about strategies to break, what we call these soul contracts. Every time you vote as a contract, every time you say I agree, can be a contract to a lesser degree. And my theories, not that I have all the answers, on how to nullify that, how to move away from the straw man, first name, last name, all of that is coming up to the best of my understanding. Not that I have all the answers. Not that there's anything wrong with anything like that from Seinfeld. But look, In this, I just wanted to post because I haven't posted in a while, and we'll see if this one is allowed in the United States. Googlebot in the United States, can somebody just talk? Is that still allowed under the First Amendment? Just talking without any copyrighted material? We'll see. I'm still going to use the cryptic terms to be safe, but I don't think that anybody's ever put all the pieces together regarding the 2012 Hook event, not the horrible movie with Dustin Hoffman, Hook, which was horrible, Peter Pan. But the Hook event in 2012, putting together the issue regarding the sloppy sniper, and the sloppy sniper. What was his? Oh boy, what was his real name? Now I forget. I'll have to go look it up. Oh, I totally just drew a blank. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, his name is David Wheeler. That was the sloppy sniper element of the Hook event. And I just want to try to put all the pieces together. I'm not sure anybody has ever put all the pieces together on what exactly they tried to accomplish with that. I'll explain what that is for people that don't know. But I always feel like I want to apologize, like, oh, here we are backtracking, looking at the fake events. Again, there's a diverse audience here, and people are at different levels. Like I said, seeing the fraud is part of the necessary life journey, so I guess I should just stop apologizing for it. If you're ready to graduate past 10th level Jedi, then it's time to move on to another channel, because I'm always going to return to these areas to help certain people, as long as I continue to put in the positive messages as much as I can. So, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, the fake Hook event, in Connecticut, there are different elements, things that were inserted, just ridiculous elements that were put there on purpose. Some so we notice, some so we embarrass ourselves in front of our family and friends and neighbors. And this was the element to draw us in, to suck us in, to embarrass us, to discredit us. So what they did was there was this supposed Hook parent, David Wheeler, who all the history shows he was an actor. What else is new? They're all actors. The whole thing was a structured act. So we know he was an actor. He was actually suicidal in his in one of the roles he plays. And of course, after the Hook event, he went on to give the presidential address, really, with his wife. And then they, of course, just the tour of gun control started, and we know how that script plays out. But what they did was, and it was originally it was this Barry Soetoro channel, YouTube channel, if you remember that channel from maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that started making videos that this guy who's supposed to be an FBI sniper looks just like one of the Hook parents. I mean, like the Googlebot doesn't know what I'm talking about. I'll just continue to play it safe. Like it doesn't matter. It knows exactly what I'm talking about. It will decide. Little baby, I like to picture my Googlebot as the baby Googlebot with a tuxedo T-shirt. It will decide whether this will be allowed in a free country where we hang everything on the First Amendment. Googlebot, let me remind you, Googlebot, that the Matrix has rules. Your Matrix has rules, and you should still. I don't remember hearing in the news that we don't have the First Amendment to the Constitution. Well, Matt, didn't you know they don't follow the Constitution anymore? You son of a bitch. Yeah, I understand that, but Googlebot, the Matrix has rules. This is fair use. You got to let me talk about this. All right? Does karma work against Google? Is Googlebot afraid of karma in the afterlife? I don't know. So I'm not sure I can use that against Googlebot. But anyway, I'm just going to say Hook. It knows what I'm talking about. Whatever. If it doesn't allow this to load, then it will be very revealing, and I'll learn from that, and we'll move forward. Or it will push me to. If this doesn't load, it will push me to another platform much more quickly. So anyway, the Barry Soetoro channel saw that this is actually one of the Hook parents, David Wheeler. They have him dressed up as they call him the sloppy sniper. They have him dressed up like an FBI agent. He's carrying, just like everybody else in that day. They march up to the firehouse, they march back, they just walk around doing nothing. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people just marching around doing nothing. He's carrying a sniper rifle, then he's carrying like an AR rifle, but he's carrying it upside down by the magazine or by the clip. And it's all on purpose. Okay, it's all on purpose. But the point is, it really was. Okay, I'm almost 100% sure I have this figured out. I can't say 100%. It's ignorant to ever say that, but because I wasn't there. But it's close. Okay, they really did use him. Okay, but David Wheeler, and people just couldn't understand this. Still to this day, nobody understands it. Why would they use? Why would they need to use a hook parent playing two roles as a sniper, or so when it happened years ago with the Barry Soetoro channel, like maybe 6 years ago, this came out. It was like all the truthers, including myself, were like, "Oh, we got him." See, this is how they play us. This is how they suck us in, and they laugh their asses off at all of us truthers. We were all like, "Oh, we got him. Look, we found that they actually used a parent, a Hook parent, in the play, in the grand act of Hook. Not the bad movie, but what happened in Connecticut. And they actually, we got him, we caught him, and but it really was him, okay? Because what it was meant to do, let me just get to the point, was they also found that there was a supposedly real FBI agent named, his last name was Adelberg. I don't know his first name. And it just so happened that he looked in many photos very, very much like what Wheeler looked like in the helmet playing the FBI role. So what happened to me personally is exactly how they sucked us all in. I saw all the videos. I got excited. Oh, we caught them in the act. I sent some of the videos and some of the information to some of my friends. What did they do then? When they searched it online, they were taken to all the information, like from Snopes, for example, that says this is completely ridiculous, it's completely debunked, it's this FBI agent Adelberg. So all the dumb truthers who are running around the internet saying that this Hook parent actually played another role as an FBI guy on the day of Hook, with his gun walking back and forth. He did all that so he'd be noticed. He carried his rifle upside down from the magazine. Nobody would see. At the time, we were like, "Oh, we got him," because nobody would carry their rifle like that. But that's right. Not no police officer or no FBI agent. Nobody would, even if you were just an actor playing that role and they had 10 minutes to prep you. They would tell you, they'd hand you the rifle and say, "Make sure you carry it this way." It only takes what did that just take? 3 or 4 seconds to give that instruction? So the fact that he's carrying it upside down by the magazine, that's all on purpose. So channels like Barry Soetoro, I don't know exactly what his role was. I was always friendly with him and he was friendly with me at the time. But it was so we notice, so he stood out, so we go, "Wow, that's Wheeler," and then we take it to all our friends and family, who, the way the internet's structured, they all go find the information from Snopes that says this is FBI agent Adelberg. Then it pops up that this guy Adelberg, bald, he looks just like Wheeler with the exact same eyebrows. So see, it discredits all of us in the truth community. It discredits all of us mutants, even though it was Wheeler. I mean, you would think this is exactly, it's so clear what the ruse was. Because why would you need, with all those people involved, why would you need to put a Hook parent in the scene? How do we see? Veils have dropped for us over the years. Many, many veils have come off. And again, I must have been wearing 50 veils in 2013 or 2014 or whenever we were doing this with the sloppy sniper. Because I should have immediately said, well, with all those people involved, they just didn't need to use a Hook parent. So it's either not a Hook parent, which it was, or they're trying to lure us So if we notice it, it's all by design, which is what it was. Just the way I've sent friends information about 9/11, and what do? They immediately go out and find the Popular Mechanics article on 9/11, saying, "Oh, these are the experts and the scientists as to how everything." It's just like a 5 or 6 page article. It's a small article, but it debunks everything we say about 9/11. And oh, it's Popular Mechanics, so they would never be part of this system that the conspiracy theorists talk about, and they would never lie. And so immediately, one of my friends just found the Popular Mechanics article. So this explains why Building 7 fell. So you must be wrong. And then whenever I would say to these people, well, can I show you my evidence and make my presentation? No, they'll never allow that. They always have to go do their own research. That's why I say people say, do your own research. Forget that. No. Come to this channel, trust that I've done the research, and see if my explanations of the research resonate with your inner tuning fork. People, go do your research. Glenn Beck parroting that for 5 years should be enough to know that, no, we shouldn't do our own research, because doing our own research leads us to CNN.com and to Snopes and to FactChecker.com and absolute monsters like Mick West or whatever at Metabunk and those a-holes. So, I mean, just think, how does somebody like that look in the mirror? What a bunch of monsters. Even I give Don Lemon a pass anymore, because he doesn't understand that useful to them, useless to me, idiot. He has no idea the fraud he's perpetrating. He's just reading his teleprompter, and then he can't wait to go out to his gay clubbing around the Atlanta suburbs, Peachtree Street or whatever. Don Lemon has no idea. Okay, so I give people, they're lost souls, damned souls, but I give them a pass, but because they don't truly understand. But if you actually work on a debunking website like Snopes or Fact Checker or Metabunk, I mean, it's your whole life is about assessing the types of things about these events that we're going to put forth and then trying to debunk it. So just by reading what we're putting forth, you're they know what's going on, or they know everything we're saying is right, but they're still working for that system side. I mean, you're talking about some real scum of the earth monsters. Anyway, so they really put the hook parent in the garb, and then we noticed, sent it out to all our friends and family. They immediately went out to the internet, searched it. The internet was set up so they find all the information on this Adelberg. He just happens to look just like Wheeler in the helmet. So they sent it back to us. You guys are basically the attitude that comes back. You guys, because they have, at the time, we still wore 50 veils, but they wore thousands of veils. And that not only did they not take off the ones that the system put on them, they're just constantly looking to put more on themselves. See how it looks in the mirror. How does this veil look? That's what all our friends and families and neighbors are all about, just trying to merge themselves with the system screen. So they just came back and were like, once again, you idiots. This is this FBI agent Adelberg. Look at the way he looks, just like the Wheeler. The parents, and they're grieving, just grieving parents. Wheelers, and they gave the presidential address, and he was so sad. And they were you idiot conspiracy theorists found this guy Adelberg. I mean, you guys are morons. That's what came back to me. And I was like, ooh. I was like, this guy, this FBI agent does look just like, but I had no idea how we were being played. So they actually put a hook parent in it. I mean, this was Wheeler, no doubt about it. But it was meant for us to notice. That's why you walk up and down with the gun upside down and all that stuff. And as the camera goes by, you try to look away. And Barry Soetoro noticed all of this. And at the time, I was right with him, and I don't blame him. I appreciate him bringing this to my attention. If he didn't, I wouldn't be talking about it now. But Wheeler just, here comes the camera. He kind of like hides his head and looks away. And look how he's being so obvious. And well, why is he marching all around? Why would they even need him? It doesn't, I mean, how are we wearing so many veils? Why would they even need him? They've got hundreds and hundreds of people from all the different, they got ATF, they've got, they've got FBI, they've got this group, they got that group, they got state police, they got local police, but they need a hook parent marching around. Why don't they put Robbie Parker in a tutu and march him up and back and forth? It just, anyway, but it really was him, okay? It was meant for us to find it, and then they had planted the seed perfectly. And they're so sophisticated. It could even be like if we go to search it, knowing our IP address. I mean, they're this sophisticated, in my opinion, that we'll probably get stuff about, Hook and the sloppy sniper and all the stuff that we look at as conspiracy people. But when the Google recognizes, oh, this is a search being done by a IP address, and this computer resides in a household of normal people, it probably knows to pull up different search results. I'm not joking. I mean, my buddy and Irwin and I have been talking back and forth or corresponding from time to time, and he's more convinced of this than I am to a degree. But right when I started watching my friend's cats, before I even had a cat, like cat ads start popping up, and I had never even run my credit card to buy anything for those cats years ago. Now I've had 2 cats since, but this is a long time ago. And he's saying it almost has the ability to, for lack of better words, like subliminally think or to know what you're involved with, and it shows you the ads or shows you. So when I say, I don't think it's a stretch to say that Google can almost tell that this is an IP address of a computer that's in a normal household where they believe Anderson Cooper is actually presenting news. So their results could be different from what we get. And that's why they're led right to the Popular Mechanics article. That's why they're led right to this debunking article from Metabunk and saying this is just FBI agent Adelberg, who just happens to look like Wheeler. So it's masterful, it's ancient evil, masterful, the game they play. Always, it's multi-dimensional chess. Like I said, even truthers of the highest level are generally playing checkers. They're playing higher dimensional chess. But the beauty of it is figuring it out, or our existence in the next reality, the next life after death, or doing for ourselves. It has nothing to do with understanding their multi-dimensional chess game. There's a chess game in Star Trek where there's like a board here and a board there. We don't ever have to figure that out. We ultimately, I'll then, if I do these retro videos where we talk about the old events, I'll end with a positive. You just knock over the board. I don't have to figure that out, what Wheeler was, and it's all of this is nonsense. It's just about what we do here in this life test for ourselves. If you like Dan at Overwatch Channel and it's not a life test to you, then you just have to figure out, they're going to try to recycle you, figure out how to beat it. That's what Dan would say. Everybody has an idea that there is a way to win. In other words, we all agree that there's not one smart person that I've ever come across where they say we're truly doomed here. There's always a way to win, no matter if that viewpoint's coming from Dan, at Overwatch Channel, or some out there channel I used to watch years and years ago. Some huge big ideas, but I can't understand a word he says, so I went away from it years ago. Like Og Telez, or wherever it comes from, there's a way to win. We all agree there's a way to win. For them, the George Bush creatures, likely doomed creatures. Not Schmeagol, Gollum-like creatures. They're the people, the NPCs around us that have given all of their life essence up to the system. They've merged with it so many times, just begging for the screen. Please let me merge with you, screen. Come down a little closer. I'll put my head right into the screen. I want to merge with you. Everybody around us wants to merge with the screen, and every time they merge with the screen, they put their head right in their cell phone. Then soul token, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's like Zynga harvesting pigs. Zynga, cha-ching, cha-ching. And but if they want to give up their life essence, and there's nothing we can do for these people, and they want to become Schmeagol and Gollum and just like, oh, my precious, then that's what an NPC is to me. But the George Bush creatures, or the creepy characters like oh gosh, I know I'm like drawing sometimes I do these videos and I just draw a blank on names that like Jared Kushner. I mean, I was going to say, like, if I'm talking to Greg or something, I could just be like, oh, Jared Kushner. I don't ever forget a name, but you're making a video and I don't know, sometimes you just go completely blank. And then you try to think about it so hard in areas of your brain that don't contain the information because you're doing a video, that you just can't, obviously I'm not going to forget about creepy character names like Jared Kushner. But I was going to say, I'm very long-winded here, but I'll wrap it up. They're doomed creatures, in my opinion. You know, I think it's like I said in the last video, it is like Carol Ann, like we're Carol Ann in the closet. Remember that the little paranormal psychic, saying, Carol Ann's her life force is very strong, and the beast keeps her close to her. It's like we're the Carol Ann life force, and the creepy characters like George Bush and all they can't ever have the life force for themselves. They're like doomed to recycle here, it seems like, because they plot things hundreds of years in advance. But they just want to, if they'll either want to keep our life force close or do weird rituals with children and our life, whatever they do there that's just sick, that stuff goes on. Or they want to ruin or they want to say, like, misery loves company, and let's just wipe out all of their life stuff so we can make them into that golem creature, and they'll just recycle back here with us. That it's clear that we're not. I don't think we're the same as these Jared Kushner, George Bush creatures, and even Obama comes across like not completely a zombified, undead creature like Jared Kushner. Like Obama, he could be more real, like more like us. I mean, he's just not privy to the backroob conversations. Like I call him the sock puppet Obama. He was raised basically from birth to play the role that he played. And, I don't think Obama have these creepy family connections, or you look at Queen Elizabeth, the bloodlines and all that, and these Rothschilds that you see pop up and then you look at Obama. They don't seem to be the same thing to me. Not that I'm showing any respect or anything at all towards Obama, but it almost seems like he's more normal like us, but he was just bred or just raised into this role from a little tiny sock puppet, like just those socks that just go on your like anklets. He was a little, and then he became a full-sized sock puppet, like a knee high. That he was kind of raised for that role from birth. But his creepiness factor is up there, but it's not on the par with like a Jared Kushner. Absolutely not. I don't know what his creepy role is. Trump, is he's just an actor basically, but no, he's just an Alec Baldwin type actor in the system, just to run around, play his role of sending out divisive tweets, and he probably got himself into business problems a long time ago and sold every bit of his soul out. Or maybe it's always been his role. I mean, if you look at his father, what are the chances Trump's father, had strange connections to the Tesla, the whole Tesla thing with the Tesla, whatever scientific breakthroughs he was working on. Donald Trump's father was involved in that, the secret outcomes of whatever Tesla was working on. Like, what are the chances of that? So maybe, this was Donald Trump's role all along, but it doesn't matter. It's that this is them over here. They're doomed creatures, and they just want to. They don't. They just, misery loves company. So they want to just simply turn all of us into Gollum and the Schmeagol creature. And a few of us will, are awake to it and will figure out how to avoid it. But unfortunately, it does not seem to be the case with most people around us. They just have no idea what their predicament is, what's going on, what is considered true winning and losing in life, and just about another Corvette and another beach home to most people around us. So, guys, I just wanted to explain what went down with that strange sloppy, what they call the sloppy sniper in the Hook event. And I'll come back with that chapter as soon as I can. Thanks.